Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush episode review. This time we will be reviewing episode 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, the debut duel for Yuamu, as she took on the Chupacabra-based alien Chupatara. And what were my general thoughts on this episode? Well, generally, I really liked it. There were elements of this episode that make me feel like this was the best episode so far. I think the world building that this episode did was really fantastic. Of course, a lot of it was setting up for future world building and future plot points to be explored. We have to hope those plot points will be executed well. Of course, we have no idea at this stage, but this was exactly what you want to see from an early staged episode in an anime. Yuamu was fantastic. Maybe the strongest girl lead debut we have ever seen any character have. We're so used to the genius cyber tech characters being a character like Yusaku, Nail in the last show, and it's so cool that in this show, from an early power scaling perspective, Yuamu is probably the best duelist in the show. She's definitely the best of the main three, and she's easily the most intelligent character of our main three, and probably of the entire show so far. And for a girl lead to be in that position of kind of authority is just so cool to see in a Yu-Gi-Oh! And I hope Yuamu continues to build on what was a really impressive and really awesome debut episode. Her Ace Dragon was awesome. She plays high-tech dragons, which is super cool. I think the last character, girl-wise, that played dragons was Aki, who played, of course, Black Rose Dragon. So Yuamu, a fantastic debut. And the episode begins with a Chupacabra-like creature attacking different citizens of Mustsuba Town. And I thought what was interesting here is one of the citizens that Chupatara attacked, the one that was the artist, the girl that has MM on her hair or on her hat, so I imagine her name will probably start with an M, is the same girl that is kind of creeping around a lot of those ending shots. So it was a really cool way, I think, for Go Rush to introduce this character without really introducing her formally. They kind of give us a little bit of a sprinkling in this episode that this character is going to be relevant to the main plot, and the only reason we know that is because of the ending visuals. So I thought that was really interesting, and she seems, again, very early on, based on initial impressions, to me at least, a shy, nervous character that's probably going to want to be friends with the main group, but doesn't really know how to do that properly. I don't get any sort of malicious vibes from her, but she gives off those shy kind of person vibes, and so it'll be interesting to see her used more. Of course, Yagi is the one that is attacked in this episode, and Yagi, Yuhi, and Yugioh all go hunting for this alien. They think it is an alien that stole Yakitori and likes Yakitori, but Yuamu, who again, her genius, just like in last episode, shows off so well in this episode, knows exactly what Chupatara is really after, and that is a really borderline disturbing obsession with magical sheep girl Meeg-chan, who is the ace of his deck. It reminded me a lot of Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Todo is this big, strong, jacked character that is obsessed with an idol. I believe Takeda-chan, if I remember correctly, and that's kind of the joke with Todo's character. It reminded me a lot of that in this episode. Chupatara being so obsessed with magical sheep girl Meeg-chan. Even said some really interesting lines, borderline just straight up weird, when Yuamu had the reaction and Yuhi and Yugioh had some great reaction shots where at one point he says, "I just can't wait to be able to touch Meeg-chan," and then after Meeg-chan delivers her 3 attacks to Yuamu, he just turns to Meeg-chan and goes, "I want to be punished too," and then ends his turn. I'm like, geez, man, this show referencing some kinky stuff here early on in episode 3. I mean, what the hell was that, guys? I have no idea, but it was definitely interesting. And Chupatara, the voice acting, I will say, was fantastic. When Yuamu delivered her attack with her monster's ace and Chupatara yelled Meeg-chan, I thought that voice acting was phenomenal, and to see how intense he was in this duel over something so silly, I thought was pretty funny, but unfortunately, he was very much overshadowed, in my opinion, by the incredible display that Yuamu put on. Using a super cool deck, her theme was awesome, the composure she had was great, and I loved that she got a little ticked off when Chupatara, I believe, referred to her as a little girl. And you could tell that that pissed Yuamu off. And sometimes those kind of phrases like, you're just a kid, you're just a little boy, you're just a little girl, is used to discredit younger people and sometimes even younger adults. I mean, I've seen that insult thrown around at 17, 18-year-olds by an older generation. And so to see how annoyed that made Yuamu, which of course led to Yuamu going on that final attack and defeating Chupatara with her ace and utilizing a spell that rose all of her dragon's attack by 400, was really, really cool. And you can tell that Yuamu not only has this insane intelligence and composure about her, but she also has this great level of confidence in her ability and within herself. She knows everything that's going to happen. She just has this great grasp on reality, on everything that's going to happen. But she also really understands that there is something strange going on here, which is said at the end of the episode, and I'll get to my thoughts on that in a little bit. Yuamu's Ace Monster's attack is Burst Streaming of Destruction. Now, her ace is, of course, Bluetooth Burst Dragon, which is a great reference to technology, Bluetooth. I think most people have experienced Bluetooth, but the fact that her Ace Monster's attack name is a straight-up reference and honor to Seto Kaiba, Burst Stream of Destruction, which is one of the most iconic Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack names ever, is so cool. They really honored Blue Eyes White Dragon in the last series by having Blue Eyes show up in episode 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, even show up in the opening and in the debut trailer for 7s, and having another Blue Eyes White Dragon Seto Kaiba reference 3 episodes into Go Rush is super cool. And again, it's just these small ways that Studio Bridge pays honor and tribute to the origins that Studio Gallop created, especially very early on Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that's so cool. I think it's a sign of respect, and I absolutely love that. And it is awesome that they gave the super cool 2500 attack dragon, which has an attack name reference to Seto Kaiba, to the main girl of the show. That's not even something that would have been remotely conceivable a few Yu-Gi-Ohs ago. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Is coming a long way with their girl characters. Thought Roman and Asana were great last series. Yuamu off to an incredible start. And I love at the end of this episode, there's a lot of things that happen at the end of the episode that were super cool. But at the end of this episode, Yuamu states that with Yugioh showing up, with Chupatara showing up, something weird is going on here. But it wasn't just those two. She also called out Neanderstar in that monologue. And when I did my Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast last Wednesday night, which of course is a deep dive that me and my friends all do, where we really in-depth analyze all of the stuff going on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush or whatever show is going on, I and my friends all felt like there was something really weird about Neanderstar, the cat. Number one, she's a talking cat. Number two, she can quickly identify aliens, and there just is a lot of weird stuff going on with her. So I like that Yuamu did not glance over her and kind of knows that Neanderstar being here and being involved in all of this, there might be something more to her character, and I think there totally is. So I really like that Yuamu referenced her in that final monologue that she had, where she just kind of said, yeah, something weird's going on here. And then, of course, we get the introduction of a character that really has a limitless potential with the dynamic he's going to have with Yugioh, and that is Yugioh. Chupatara is released because he is a third-generation Chupacabra. He has a gold pass, and that means that he is fully permitted to live on Earth. And I believe also Manabu kind of says that we can't torture him because he is a gold citizen. I think there was a pun used for the word torture. Maybe I analyzed that right. But man, Manabu and Neanderstar at this point in the show are not good characters by any means. They give me very like anti-hero kind of vibes right now, even though they're both goofy. I just do not trust MIK at all. I think Manabu will have a bit of a swing and a change of heart, but right now I do not trust that guy at all. Chupataro calls Yugioh and basically admits to all of us that were watching that everything that happened in this episode was a ploy to get UTS to find him so that they could make contact with Yugioh. So Chupatara either working with Yugioh or was just temporarily hired by Yugioh, did all of this in order to seek out Yugioh and probably to confirm his location. But we now know that Yugioh, the commanding officer of Yugioh, that Yugioh believes died in episode 2, or well before the show began, but that's what Yugioh said in episode 2, is alive, is stable, and is in Mustsuba Town. What does that mean? When are we going to see Yugioh formally debut? I do not know, but man, oh man, this episode was so good in world building. They also mention a character, one of the characters that works at UTS, one of the elderly Sevens-based characters, Prisaki-san, I believe was her name. And that is, of course, a character that Princess G was disguised as in episode 40. I don't think that character was actually real, or maybe she was and Princess G's disguise was based off of her. I think she was supposed to be a teacher. So I don't know what's going on here. And, you know, there's a lot of talk as to whether this is even going to be a sequel of Sevens or it's going to be an AU and it's going to be a different version. I think I'm starting to lean that it very well might be a different universe. This might be a universe that was created when Yugioh created the hyperspace in his duel against Otis, because the definition of hyperspace is space of more than 3 dimensions. So couldn't this easily just be one of the dimensions that was created when Yugioh went into that hyperspace? I think that's very likely. I hope that there is some tie-in. Otherwise, even if they're 2 different universes and they somehow connect in time travel or dimension hop, which we've seen in shows like Arc 5, otherwise, it'll feel very cheap to use the same character designs, to use the same last names of Odo, of Gakuto, of all of these elderly characters. It'll just feel very cheap to me. Even if it's a different universe, I'm okay with that as long as there is some tie-in or explanation at some point in the show, which I think we are going to get. I think we're just going to need to be patient and figure out what the heck is going on here. But right now, I'm probably, for the first time ever, leaning more that this could be a different universe than Sevens that was maybe created from that hyperspace that Yugioh performed in his final duel against Otis. But guys, let me know all your thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush Episode 3. 3-episode rule. I don't know if it really works with Yu-Gi-Oh!, but let me know what you think of the show so far. Are you planning on continuing it, dropping it? I'm so excited to hear from all of you down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, and Jarrett Buller, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Latrell Smith, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu and Syn Cloud. To everyone who supports me on Patreon, and to everyone who is a YouTube channel member, thank you so much. The extra support means the world to me, and it allows me to make videos on a semi-daily basis, and I am forever indebted to you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. And definitely check out my channel membership feature and my Patreon for some extra channel perks. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out my channel for some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. And I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.